Here on to Chelsea, guys, and we're looking at Frank Lampard's replacement and the race to come in for him. You've got Julian Nagelsmann, and who else, Fab, might be entering this race? Because I saw that you broke a little bit of news earlier on about Todd Boehly being in Germany, possibly, related to Thomas Tuchel adding to his backroom staff, but also related to the Nagelsmann compensation. So what can you tell us is the latest coming out of Stamford Bridge?
Yes, it's about relationships, I would say. It's normal for Todd Boehly to go around, meet with people, and create some networking, some relationship with people also at Bayern. I can say that the relationship between Bayern and Chelsea is very good, and this is why Barry will be allowed to rejoin Thomas Tuchel in the coaching staff, so he will leave Chelsea and join Bayern officially very soon. £1 million compensation agreed, and so everything is in place between Bayern and Chelsea on that one. On Nagelsmann, what we can say is that he's always been the favorite since day one. Since they fired Potter, he's always been considered the favorite option in the list. It depends on Chelsea. So I am sure that it's not going to be an issue about the compensation between Bayern and Chelsea. So this deal will not collapse because of compensation. It's on Chelsea to decide if they're 100% convinced of Nagelsmann as candidate. So the conversation is ongoing between Nagelsmann, his agents, and Chelsea board. It will continue also in the next days and weeks because there will be new contacts, new meetings. And in that moment, we will understand the Chelsea position. So Nagelsmann remains as favorite. From what I understand, with Luis Enrique, as the Telegraph reported yesterday, it's true that the interest of Chelsea is a bit cooled now. So the situation is in standby and is not expected to advance in the next days. At the moment, the full focus of Chelsea is on other coaches and, of course, Julian Nagelsmann. But we have to add also Mauricio Pochettino, because there's been a first approach this week between Chelsea and Pochettino to discuss about possible further talks in the next days and weeks. It's a possibility. At the moment, it's just an approach, nothing advanced yet. But we have to add Pochettino into the Chelsea list for the new manager. So I think it's still really open. Nothing is going to be decided in the next hours or days. It's going to take some time. Chelsea want to be 100% sure of the next coach, but now we can say that Nagelsmann is the favorite, Pochettino is in the list, and with Luis Enrique, things are in total standby and looks unlikely to see him as new Chelsea coach.
Well, fascinating stuff. And obviously it's been a busy last 24 to 48 hours at Chelsea, crashing out to the Champions League. Thiago Silva coming out and basically publicly calling out the lack of strategy, leading the club, and the fact that the squad is so bloated. Does that put a lot of pressure on the club to potentially move some big names out? Obviously, there's been a lot of speculation about Mount. The USMNT fans will be keen to hear any news and updates about Pulisic, maybe Edouard Mendy as well. What kind of names are we potentially looking at being moved on by Chelsea here?
I think there will be a lot of players on the move in the summer. For Mason Mount, it depends on how the conversation between Chelsea and his agents will go on the new contract. But in case this agreement can't be reached on new deal, I'm sure Mason Mount will be on the market and Liverpool will be there, because Liverpool, like Mason Mount, is one of the priority targets they have, and so for sure Mount is one to watch in the summer. There are some players who are almost out of the project, players like Hakim Ziyech, players like Pierre Aubameyang. You mentioned the goalkeeper situation. We have to understand how Chelsea will decide to act with Kepa and Edouard Mendy, if they want to keep one of them, if they want to try to sell them. So it's still open on the goalkeeper. The manager is going to be crucial. I think the new manager is going to be crucial to decide on these players. So, for example, in the goalkeeper situation, on Mason Mount, on Conor Gallagher, many players have to decide their future with Chelsea, and the new coach is going to be crucial to make these kind of decisions. But then there are some players, as I said, Aubameyang, Ziyech, and many others who are almost out of the project, and so for Chelsea will be a priority to find the solutions for them, also for the financial fair play situation.
Well, we'll look at other potential ways for Chelsea to raise some money in just a minute. But I saw an interesting report a couple of days ago, Fab, and I was wondering if you could shed any light on it. And it basically hinted that Chelsea's owners, Todd Boehly, and those around him were essentially surprised by the fact that Chelsea have to abide by the fair play rules, and suddenly, the financial fair play rules, and they suddenly might have to sell a lot of players that they didn't necessarily intend to sell. Maybe a couple of months ago. Is there any truth to this? Is there any, perhaps value in some of the suggestions that Chelsea have actually overspent or overbloated this squad? So there might be some surprise names that make way.
No, honestly, I'm not 100% aware of this kind of stories. I'm sure that Chelsea did something strange by signing many players in January and in the summer, and it was looking like surprising to see so many players added to the squad. As you mentioned before, also Thiago Silva was pointing out on that kind of situation, because it's not easy when you have many players in the dressing room at a big club like Chelsea. It makes things complicated. But I think this is part of the idea, the original idea they had, to refresh the squad, to bring in important talents, important players, and then to sell players at the right moment. So I'm sure that this was the idea. Then you can't always have the results immediately in football. This is a long-term project. As Todd Boehly said ahead of the Real Madrid game, they want to do something special in the next years, not right now. So it's going to take some time. The summer is going to be crucial to offload some players, to send some players on loan. For example, David Fofana joined in January and he's almost never playing. He's a young player. He needs to play. And so this is going to be crucial to make the right decisions with these players. But Chelsea are 100% confident on the project, and they wanted to create something like that. So step by step, it will take time, but they are sure that it's going to work.